Hello you lovely lots, I am here in Malden in Essex, one of my favourite places, and I'm in a wood just outside there. Just had a nice cup of tea and I thought I'd talk to you about this next topic, which is relationships. You have to play them out. Now I'm not talking about the ones that you don't care about, you know, those short-term fluffy relationships. There's no emotional investment, you can quite easily cut that person off. Very pragmatic, very logical, see you later. No, I'm talking about the ones that really kick your ass. You know, the ones that you're emotionally attached to that person, you will do anything for them, you've got this Disney-like fantasy about them, you're obsessed in a way, very neurotic kind of thinking, very Disney-like, and you can't stop returning to that relationship. It doesn't matter if that relationship is crap, it's toxic, it's a nightmare, it gives you nightmares, you have to return over and over and over and over again. Now I say, yes, you're right, you have to return over and over and over again, and trust this cycle, trust this experience. It's necessary, right? Because people will tell you, you know, you need to cut off social media, stop going to the places that they go, you need to quit WhatsApp, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, all well and good, but you and I know that that is not easy, okay? And actually it's necessary to play this stuff out. Why is it necessary? Freud talked about a psychological defense mechanism, a neurotic defense mechanism called repetition compulsion. Now what we tend to do is repeat compulsively, okay, specifically in relationships, to reconnect with particular pains and wounds from our childhood. Now these pains and wounds, often they come through the experience of parenting from one or both of our parents. Sometimes, okay, with parents, they're very intentional in their wounds. Others, and most, aren't. Okay, it's totally unconscious, and they've received particular wounds from theirs, and theirs, and theirs, and theirs, and we can, I don't know how far we can go back, but eventually it comes down to you to play this cycle out. Then we meet the perfect person in order to play this out with. So we connect with a new individual, okay, and some of the signs of connecting with this person who we've got a strong emotional connection with are that we say to ourselves, I've never met someone like this in my entire life. I feel like I've known them for ages. I would marry them in an instant. And you put them right up there on a pedestal. That's a really, really good sign that you've connected with someone that you need to connect with in order to play out these wounds. Now that's what makes it such a nightmare, these relationships, okay? Because you feel so much pain, right? And then to eradicate that pain, we get back in touch with this person. It's like a heroin hit. You feel so much better because the pain that you felt has been relieved now by seeing that person. Then you might have that make-up sex, all that squishy gooey stuff, and you feel amazing for about 5 seconds, and then bang, straight away, smashed, hit round the face of a wet fish, you're back in the same place again, and you're playing the same crap out again. One of the main reasons why you play this stuff out is because you have a Disney fantasy about this person. When you're not with them, you are projecting this idealistic view about this person, and you're projecting it onto them. You can't help doing that, it's just the nature of the mind, okay? Some people don't, but there's a lot of us that do. And so what happens is you project this fantasy onto them, right? But the reality doesn't match this fantasy. And this is why it's necessary to return over and over again. You need to smash this fantasy and kick it into touch, okay? It needs to die. It feels amazing, the idea of it is so lovely, the story, but it just needs to die. Now the dying of this fantasy is the worst part, because then you get the reality of the experience, right? The reality of that person, the reality of you. And this is where you need to get in this situation. Why playing it out is so useful, because you get to the realness of the situation. You start to feel all of the things and the pain and the hurt within the body, and Then it comes to a particular point where if you own those feelings, if you take responsibility for those feelings, then you don't stand to play out this kind of stuff again in new relationships, okay? But if you start blaming the other person, oh, it was them, they treated me bad, it was them, they did this, that, and the other, big trouble. Because then you're not owning what's going on for you, and you're more likely to meet other people that will trigger similar pains, okay? So the important part with this is to totally own everything that's going on for you and what you're learning through this experience of returning over and over and over again. You have to find meaning in this experience. It's absolutely essential and it's necessary for the healing so that you can move on and return to healthier relationships. So that's my reasons on why you have to play out these relationships. I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this informative, and I shall see you again for a video very soon. Take care. Bye bye.